Colors in her hair, lipstick bold and bright, strutting down the street like a disco queen. And my granny's on a mission, her pitchfork in her hand, hunting thrift store treasure all across the land. She's funky, she's sassy, she's got that Aussie charm. Out in the bush, she's raising the alarm.
Oh, baby, be on the lookout for gold.
Granny's flipping fine.
So, is anybody interested in me talking anymore? Do you want me to still talk about sourcing insights on Terapeak? Oh, good. Crickets. Nobody wants me to talk about it.
Sounds good.
There always has to be a spanner in the works, doesn't there? All right.
It's okay, I can wait.
Ray says yes.
Yes, please. Okay, good-o. All right, let me just go in. Oh, just clicked on the wrong thing, didn't I? Because I have two screens with 50,000 things open. Here he is. Adam. Can you hear me, Adam?
Yeah, I can. What's up?
Yeah, okay. You better make
Vince
sure...
was just saying, where's Adam?
You were here earlier and then you left, and you better make sure you watch the replay
I'm talking about
because
jeans. Yeah.
the last topic we just finished talking about was specifically designed for you.
Okay.
Okay?
So it was good. It's about how we should be sourcing more.
No, it was not. It
No,
was
okay.
not about that at all. So, okay, here is it's now called Research Products, formerly called Terapeak, and, I don't know about everybody else, but I'll probably be calling it Terapeak for the rest of my time of reselling, just like when they changed the name of the Shamrock Hotel in town, after like 120 years, they decided to rename it to the Bull Oak Tavern. Well, I'm sorry, but it's still the Shamrock Hotel to me. Anyway, if you go into there's Research Products, and underneath that you'll see this little link called Sourcing Insights. And a lot of people have not ever clicked in here. If you come into your sourcing insights, you see, it depends on, mine might look slightly different because I have gone in and set up a few things before. But one of the things is you can display it in a card view, which is what this is, or you can actually display it as a table view, which I'll put it like so, which is like this, just smaller. I mean, I do it as a card view. Oh, good night, Bax. I do it as a card view, because being old and, my eyesight's dimming, it's easier for me to see. But you can, this is probably makes it a little bit easier in some respects. But I found that also that I had to click on more things to find out the information, which is why I went to the card view. So I am going to go back to card view though, because I just find it a bit easier. And then you can change this one here, which is the sort. So I've got mine sorted for top opportunities first. Essentially, it's going to tell me what eBay thinks has the top opportunities for the categories that it thinks there are really good opportunities to sell in. And there's all different. You can do it by volume, total sales, search to listing ratios, high or low, alphabetical, reverse alphabetical. And it depends on why you're looking at the sourcing thing. If you are just looking for good opportunities in a category maybe that you haven't used before, that you haven't sold in before, maybe just start out with looking at the top opportunities first. I will say though that whilst we'll start off here, at the end of the day, before you make any hard decisions, it's always a good idea to go down to sort by total sales, because it's all very well looking at what is suggested. Is there a good opportunity in that category? But if there's not heaps of stuff selling in that category, then is it actually worth it? So if we have a look here, it's telling us that some of the top categories that they are suggesting where there's good opportunities, and you'll see there is a difference. So if you have a look here, action figures, and it says good opportunity, and then it gives us what the sell-through rate is, and it gives us what the search to listing ratio is. And what that's meaning is how many searches are done against how many listings there are in that category. It also tells you how many searches, what the search volume is, and then also how many active listings there are in that category. Now, if we go over here to audiobooks, we'll see here the figures are much lower, so it's a little bit easier to make sense of the figures. So the search volume here is 3,994. against active listings of 112,000. So, there's not a lot. But then look at, the sell-through rate is quite low, but then look at search to listing ratio, and that's 0.04. So although there aren't a lot listed, there's also not a lot of people perhaps searching for them. So that's something to consider when you're looking at these numbers. And also, of course, the sell-through rate and all that sort of stuff. And if you go down here, if we scroll down a bit and you go to cassettes, you'll see great opportunity. Okay, so there are different variations. Even though these are all top opportunities, some of those opportunities, eBay says, are better than others. Sometimes it's because there aren't very many listings in that category, and they think, therefore, that there's a really good opportunity for someone to come in and list stuff in that and sell stuff. And that's probably quite true, because if there happen to be a lot of people looking for cassettes, for example, then and there's not a lot of sales, but there's not a lot of sales because there's not a lot listed, maybe there is a really good opportunity. And then you have to delve in further because, and we'll get to that in a minute, because you need to know, okay, cassettes, well, we know with cassettes it's music generally, so what genre? You need to then delve in further to find out what genre of music. Hello, Mr. Octopus. You need to know which genre of music is the one that's selling, because if you go and buy a whole heap of, country music and no one likes country music, and it's not selling, there's no point in that and you're going to waste your money. I don't know. I heard Polska had pretty good sales of late. Casual shirts, they say, and that's in men's category there. They say there is a good opportunity. And if we're looking down, the best opportunity, what have we got? So at the moment, Action Figures is showing the highest sell-through rate. 2.2 for bears. And if we go down here, so this one here is contemporary, and it's actually sheet music that they're talking about, and they say there's a great opportunity there. And I kind of get the feeling that, that is a area that's lacking, but even though there seem to be quite a few listed against the search volume, a lot of what's listed is not modern. So, just saying. You've got to find that right, that you've got to find the niche within that category that is working, that is selling. Doilies, who wants to go and sell doilies? Because there is an opportunity there. And I will say, doilies has a really good sell-through rate. As you can see, a much higher sell-through rate. So, and there aren't a lot listed. So you're not going to be competing against a heap of other sellers. And that's where you need to start to delve in. If there's any of these categories that you think could work for you, then you have to delve in further and see, well, is that something that I can source? Yep, you'd be surprised. We've got dolls and play sets and hats there. And then we'll go to the next page, which is still, again, the top opportunities. So these are all good. So you've got hats, you've got jeans in men's clothing, jumpers. Most of the clothing I've found in this is all the good opportunities are in men's. You will find most categories in women's are very saturated, so you're competing against a lot more people. But I will say that last time I checked the quality listing report, I was currently sitting at number 12 in the women's jeans category, so yay to me. Just sort of give myself a little plug there. Magazines, memorabilia in music. Thank you. Polos, again, men's shirts, men's clothing. Salt and pepper shakers is a bit of a goer at the moment. And these things will all change. You can go in here and look. And then, I'd probably go in here and have a play around once a month to see what's what and see if there's any new opportunities that I think might work for me. Sometimes I'm going in here looking, are there any of these categories that I've got in my death pile? And yeah, sometimes there are. You look at, say, blankets and throws, and yeah, whilst there might be an opportunity there, they take up a lot of room. So that's not something that I would be interested in selling. So there are, something can have a really fantastic opportunity, but does it work for you? So, Which? All right, let's go back to the other page, to the first page, I should say. And they say dolls and doll play sets. I do well with dolls. I keep forgetting that I've got more at the back, and I need to get more listed because generally they sell. And that's vintage stuff, not new stuff that I sell. But so if we have a look, and what's the best one? So we'll have sorry. Oh, you want to have a look at audiobooks? Certainly. Wonder why. So if we have a look at audiobooks, you can get more information by clicking on the little arrow here, and you can actually go into that category and find out more stuff. So you can find out, and you can have a look. Here's the trending line, all right? So you can see that it's gradually, and there was a bit of a peak here in July of last year. A lot more people were buying audiobooks. Why is that so? Well, possibly because it was winter and more people are inside. Who knows? And then it's dipped down, but it is overall still trending upwards to a certain extent. So there are obviously, even though they might seem low, there are opportunities there. Now, if you go up the top here, you can change, for example, in this category, you can change the condition. So in audiobooks, they're either new or they're used. So let's have a look at the differences between the two. So if we go to new, and we'll see here, and we can see with new audiobooks, they are well and truly trending up, quite well. And then if you go further, scroll down after that, you can see things like it'll tell you the language that is selling well, and English obviously is showing up there a lot. Publication years, and you can see 2011, 2019, 2018, 2020. So it's sort of like all the top ones are 2011 upwards. So if you come across audio books that are older than that, maybe you need to rethink them because maybe they're not, maybe they're the one. But then, are there any older ones listed, and is that the reason they're not selling? Because no one is listing them, and that's something you also need to consider. But these are, of course, this is with new, so it's probably unlikely that you're going to find very many sealed new ones from older than 2011 anyway. So if we change this to used and have a look, and we'll see the line is a lot flatter. So whilst they do say there is a good opportunity with audio books, that opportunity is much better for new audio books as opposed to used audio books. And a lot of that's going to come down to condition. So that's something to consider with those audiobooks. Now, there's no information for me there, so I will go back to new here. Well, not specifically here. You can certainly tell that all the ones at the top, selling ones, are all audio CDs. Although some of them are, they're audio CDs, so they're CD, even though they're MP3 CDs, they are still CDs. Yeah, they are, they're a lot older. Yeah, much older. But you can go in and look at different item specifics to see what people are searching for in the categories. So if we have a look here, it's actually going to show us what has sold, so that you can go and you can go and look at, and this is going to show you dependent on what you've got the time search for, that the time period that you're searching for. So I've got mine set for 3 years, but if you actually have a look down here, it's showing you that from 4th of February, so this is only in the last 30 days, to the 2nd of February. So these are what have sold. So there's been 20 sales of audiobooks, and they range from $3.45 to $156.38. So if you had plenty, that's going to be a bundle, I'm going to say. No? Yep. Kind of. So it's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you've got that one, the complete radio series, you can sell that for $156. Yay. Yep. Earl Nightingale, the Nightingale Library there, that I'm going to say is going to be, that'll be more than one. That looks sealed too. Polish, new edition, learning Polish languages. Obviously, no, it must be a book about learning Polish. And, Way of the Leopard, meditations and shamanic practices, is it? Sorry, I'm a bit of away from my main screen, so I'm having trouble reading it. Doctor Who, Disney. So this is a gift set for boys, and for boys, not for girls, apparently. So this is where you can go through and have a look. So, Here's another one which is totally Spanish, effortless learning the Michael Thomas method. I mean, I kind of wouldn't have... You can see they've got high prices, but technically for me, I don't see that as being an audio book. That should be under... Isn't there a separate section for learning language? I would have thought, but maybe I'm wrong. I haven't listed any, so... Yeah. So some are, you can get decent prices like $40, $50 for some. Schindler's List there, The Enigma, another Doctor Who one. These are all in the 40s, so there's good money for some of those. So it's just a matter of, finding the right ones and that they are worth a reasonable amount of money. Questions? No? Excellent. Oh, hang on. Raise typing. Well, based on what they're saying here, I mean, that's based on, if you have a look here, if you click on the condition, so it's got brand new, there's been 243 sales, like new there's been 10, very good there's been 19, good there's been 7, acceptable there's been 1. So there's a big difference between the sales for the used versus the sales for brand new. So for me personally, I would put them in a variation when you've got used. Ray Potter says, looks great, I'll start exploring now. Good-o, nice one. I mean, for me personally, if they're not new, obviously you're not going to sell them as quickly. But maybe putting them in a variation, you can, do better. Because people that are buying an audio CD are people that have still either got a CD player in their car or have a CD player to play audiobooks on and like to listen to audiobooks on CD. So then they're most likely, it's a bit like people that buy large print books. They will continue to buy large print books. So people that like audio CDs are going to continue to buy audio CDs until, like my friend that gave me some, and she updated her car to a brand new car that didn't have a CD player. So, that was an issue. Oh, God, fuck. I don't know. Yes, of course you can. It's a hard one. I mean, they're kind of like, supposedly... You should theoretically be getting similar-ish information for what's trending, but you don't always. It's a good idea if you know about Google Trends and know how to look around it. It's also a good idea to be having a look in there if you haven't already bought something and you're looking for new trends. But even though something's trending in the general market, is it actually selling on eBay? Because if maybe it's not selling on eBay for a reason. Again, then I'll be looking to see, well, is it because there aren't any listed? Nobody's actually bought one because nobody's listed one. Yep. Yeah. Well, I guess the thing I think with using, the reason I go to this first is because it's showing you what categories that are on eBay that they think there are good things in. Like, it's already condensed down to what's selling on eBay against everything, as John said. Yeah. Ray Potter says, many people are growing frustrated with streaming services as their purchased content can suddenly disappear or become unavailable due to changing rights. This has led to a resurgence in physical media, with more people valuing the reliability of owning their favourite movies, shows and music in tangible formats. This is shown in the upwards trend. Yeah, I quite agree with you, Ray. I think there's a few other reasons too. Now suddenly you're paying the same money, but your streaming service is suddenly putting ads in your feed, and you've got to pay more again if you don't want ads. People are becoming frustrated with that. I also think that people that have got young kids, which is why I always think, say VHS, for example, and DVDs in certain kids' movies, and that will always keep selling because their kids can just keep playing it over and over and over again, and they're not having to pay for the streaming service. If once they own it, they own it. And I mean, Amazon's a perfect example for that. Like, you look at that. If you look up where can I watch, say, I don't know, American TV show I'm trying to think of, say FBI or something, right? And it'll tell you can watch it on Amazon. But if you subscribe to that, which is, you're going to get Amazon Prime, well, yeah, it's on there, but it's actually on Paramount. So you actually have to pay for Paramount on top of your Prime. And you can get Paramount you can get that through Apple or other ones that join a whole heap together. But a lot of people don't know that. So it all gets very confusing and all starts costing a lot of money. Ray says, very true. I think it was Disney Plus that just announced this in their premium tier. Yeah. And they do. Like, Prime has ads, which they never used to. I don't think Netflix does yet. I did see... Okay, I must be paying for the more expensive tier because I don't have ads. that. Yeah. And Apple, as I discovered, is Apple TV is can be a bit of a rort, because like I actually got Apple TV because I'd cancelled 2 of my other services and got Apple TV because I'd kind of gone through all the current content that I wanted to watch on those other 2. So I thought, well, I'll get rid of those 2 because I'm not watching stuff on that much, and because I can't find anything I want to watch on them, and so I'll get Apple because there was a specific series that I wanted to watch. And so I've got my Apple Plus, only to find out that that particular series that I want to watch, I can watch it if I want to pay $14.99 for the box set. What the... Like, honestly, I still haven't done it. I've had Apple now for 2 weeks, and I'm having enough. But I really want to watch this, and you can't get it anywhere else. I really want to watch this show. So I just... so damn frustrating. Yeah. Don't worry, I've searched this particular show because I really want to watch it, and nowhere else. So yeah, I either have to dodgy download it or pay my... It's a bad word. Torrents is a bad word. Being a former pirate myself, I'm well aware of that. But yes, I mean I can get it for free if I go a hunting on the torrent sphere. But I mean I used to download everything. Don't get me wrong. But now that everything's available to stream, before I was downloading it for other people as well. Now I'm not. So I'm only downloading it for myself, so I don't bother. It's much better to just have a streaming service and use that. Alright, well, I think that's been a pretty good chitty chat. It's been an hour and a half. Yeah, you can actually get smaller ones that they started making for, like the vodka cruises and stuff. So there would be some available somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. Well, okay. So, anybody that has listened to me before may be aware of a couple of items that I've had listed on my store that a local lady makes that she crochets for me. Yeah. I actually have the stubby holders of those. I just got them not long ago. I haven't listed them yet, but yeah, I have Percy stubby holders and Vera stubby holders. Sure, they'll photograph up beautifully. Yeah, true. Yeah, with the Velcro thing. Or a bit of elastic or something, yeah. I mean, I've got some of the flat ones that Brittany got, some of those vinyl sort of flat ones that you can put the stuff you get off the cricket on that she did. I've got those here. Yeah, that's another thing I've got here to list. And I was going to get her to do me some Grumpy Granny ones, but yeah, haven't read that. It will happen, Dad. That's alright. Hope everyone got something out of it. And yeah, I will be doing... I'm pretty sure the audio should be good, so we shouldn't be having any issues with the audio. We did a bit of work getting it levels pretty good, and I made sure that I didn't have the double reverberation issue. So I should be able to get... I don't know. It depends, because I cut all the silent patches out. I run the audio, I run the video and audio through a particular program that I use to edit the videos, and it's a silence detector, and so I can set, look for anything that's over X amount of seconds in gap, and it'll bring it up and show me, and I can just quickly cut all those out, which does reduce the size. But when you've got an hour and a half, well, yeah, but you don't want it going up. I mean, very likely this will condense down to, because it's been mostly me yakking, it'll probably be able to condense it down to, I was going to say an hour, but probably not now, because now it's 9:44. So yeah, I mean, it'll probably, it's going to take 15-20 minutes out of it, so might be able to make it into 2 videos, but I'm not sure. So alright, that's it. I will yes, John. Oh, I thought you said Gigi. Oh, thank you, John. You got to get my attention first. Yeah, my pleasure. Hope everyone got something out of it. And if anyone's got any suggestions of future topics that they would like brought up, or people that would like to do a presentation themselves, or people that we've done it in the past where someone was, her name might have been Jen, maybe, that was a bit nervous, wouldn't have been able to do something like that, so I actually interviewed her. We talked about beforehand what the topic was we were going to talk about, and then, so we can do something like that. If you do something in particular or sell in a particular category and you think you've got something useful for the group but are a bit nervous about doing something on your own, well, we can do something like like that, where I do an interview, interview someone, or if you've got suggestions for someone that you think would do a guest presentation, whatever, or like even if it's a YouTube video that you think would be worthwhile for the group to watch as a whole, like, let me know. All right, cool. No worries. I am ending the event right now, and I'm also going right now. Hooroo!
Well, roll out of bed, my colors in tight, check my eBay sale. Ooh, what's up? Got books and clothes and vintage to light. If you want a good deal, you've come to me right. List it, I sell it, I pack it up tight. Wrap it real nice, ship it out overnight. Happy folks get the